Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite caster in the entire world, Josh, and we have Game 2 here in a best-of-3 series being played between Evil Genius's IdrA, he's the red Zerg up here on top of Lost Temple, and his opponent once again is going to be Mao's MorroW, the blue Zerg down here on the bottom spawn. So we have cross positions, ZVZ, that map, Blistering Sands, basically devolved into Banelings and Speedlings versus Banelings and Speedlings. Once there was a clear winner, the other player GG'd, and it was just very quick. So not sure if we're going to be seeing that same sort of setup here at these cross positions, since it does lend itself to be a little bit more of a macro situation, but you never know. MorroW could go super aggressive and IdrA would be forced to defend it, or vice versa. And we might just see more Baneling and Speedling battles. MorroW taking that first game on Blistering Sands means that he is going to be in a more comfortable position than IdrA. He might actually choose to be a little bit more aggressive this time around. We'll have to see. Last time MorroW did actually drop his natural hatchery first before IdrA could, and even though it didn't turn up into an advantage economically, he didn't have more drones or anything, he could actually produce more lings and actually did overwhelm IdrA there toward the end. But anything could happen here on map 2. But so far, nothing is happening. Just drones from both players. I would be surprised if either player actually switched it up. It looks like MorroW at least is going to be doing the same build here as he did on Blistering Sands. Getting that extractor up first means that he is most likely going to be getting Speedlings, of course. IdrA actually changing it up a little bit, going for hatch first. He sees that MorroW is not at this close flying position as he sent his scouting overlord. He has not scouted the close running position, though, and that actually could be dangerous. If MorroW was there and going for a super aggressive build, IdrA could be in trouble. But thankfully for him, MorroW is at that cross position. We see MorroW's drone headed up that ramp now to make sure that IdrA is there. He runs past that natural hatchery as well. I believe he did see that. Yes, he did. And a spawning pool coming down now for IdrA about 32 in-game seconds after MorroW. And still no extractor either, so Zergling speed might not be first on his list of things to get. He might actually go for a little bit of a slower gas build and get some roaches out. Roaches do stand up against Banelings and Speedlings quite well if you can get them in big enough numbers, and of course the second hatch will allow him to get quite a lot of roaches. So we'll see in the next couple of minutes how those strategies sort of sort themselves out. MorroW is getting Zergling. He's not getting Zergling speed. He's saving up. He doesn't have 100 minerals yet. There he goes, getting Zergling speed. I'm not sure why he went for that queen first when he could have got the Zergling speed started. Maybe he's worried about, I don't know what. Maybe he just really wants that extra larva before actually being able to use it on Speedlings. Hatch rate number 2 for IdrA is about to complete. He is building a Roach Warren as expected. No Zergling speed being researched at all, so he is changing it up a little bit. I'm not sure how it'll actually work out for him. Like I said a moment ago, though, Roaches do stand up pretty well against Baneling Speedlings, so we'll have to see if MorroW is going to actually spot this Roach Warren. Actually, I'm sure he just did with his scouting drone. Let's go ahead and double check, though. Yes, he did see the Roach Warren, so he's going to have to change something up himself to be able to match up against that many roaches. He's now dropping a natural hatchery himself to try and keep up on the drone count. Should be pretty close still. That hatch hasn't been up very long for IdrA, and actually he hasn't even used this larva yet, but MorroW is actually one drone ahead. IdrA made a couple of lings to run over here and see what's going on in his opponent MorroW's base. 3 roaches coming for IdrA. MorroW not really doing much of anything, just getting another queen there for his natural, getting some lings out as well. I hear a queen attacking an overlord somewhere, but of course he's not going to be able to kill that off. He will escape with plenty of room. And now 2 lings from IdrA run right in here, see everything that's going on. We'll see this Roach Warren coming up for MorroW, and I have seen players in the ZVZ matchup actually outproduce roaches even after getting the Roach Warren after your opponent did. So just because MorroW got his Roach Warren a little bit later doesn't mean that he can't actually outproduce IdrA. It's just a matter of what you use your larva on. So IdrA is going to be building a lot of roaches very early, but that's just for an early defense, it looks like, as he is back committed to getting more drones than his opponent. You can see he's taking a lead right now, 25 to 22. Couple of lings for MorroW coming in here. Of course, they're not going to be able to kill off the queen by themselves with all these roach bodyguards hanging out. Let's go back to the production tab. We'll see IdrA is now getting his second queen, or perhaps a third queen? No, just a second queen there at his main. He's getting... Where did I just Never mind. He's getting more roaches, overlords, and now zergling speed to catch up with MorroW, so he won't be behind in that regard for much longer. MorroW does have a lot of lings running in here. Is he going to try and kill off some drones? It looks like that is his intent. He manages to kill 2 drones very quickly, but these roaches are doing a nice job defending. Only 2 lings left after killing only 2 drones. I don't think he's going to be able to get another one. I'm not sure, though. We'll have to see. IdrA pulling his drones off the line now to defend against these lings. Of course, they do 5 damage per claw, so they can take out speedlings pretty easily just by themselves. This last little speedling for MorroW running around trying to get as much information as he possibly can does actually manage to snag a final drone kill before going down to that queen. So MorroW actually killing 3 drones there, but sacrificing a lot of lings to actually do it. If you look at units lost, you see MorroW is actually at the disadvantage, and if you look at the income tab, ooh, MorroW's up to 32 drones, so IdrA spending a lot of larvae there on roaches during that little skirmish, and MorroW going pure drone there, so IdrA actually could be at a huge advantage right now. Let's look at the units tab. We'll see 11 roaches total for IdrA, 12 speedlings, now 16 speedlings. He is cutting drones permanently. He's going to try and drop the hammer here on MorroW, who has less drones and no speedlings right now to speak of. He's only got a bunch of drones, so he is going to have to pull them to be able to fend this off, I'm sure of it. Now, how many roaches do we actually have here? 9. MorroW has 7 roaches here. Roach number 10 showing up for IdrA. He has the superior firepower here with all these lings running into the front lines. Does a good job microing there to make sure those lings can actually get in there and get some hits. MorroW comes in with some speedlings of his own to try and sandwich these roaches, but there are still so many of them alive that IdrA looks to be in pretty good shape still. He's got 7 roaches, now down to 6, but MorroW is down to only 4. Of course, he can continue to produce very close to home, right next to his natural hatchery here and his main. More speedlings coming in for IdrA. If you look at that minimap, you'll see more units streaming in constantly. 4 roaches still alive for IdrA. No roaches here for MorroW except for this one with very low health. All these speedlings coming in now, trying to finish off these drones, finish off those roaches, and it looks like IdrA does have all the standing forces left right now. MorroW GG's out of there with only 5 lings and a queen remaining. IdrA with a very solid 34 lings and 3 roaches to his name. So we saw another very short and sweet Zerg versus Zerg, even though it was cross positions, even though it was different units this time, Roach and Speedling against Roach and Speedling rather than Banelings against Banelings, and that is going to force a game 3. So now let's go see what these 2 monster Zerg players do in that 3rd game.